Hello, welcome to the first proper video of Transtastic 101. Now, although I kind of had a list of interesting issues to make videos about, and I have some more important issues than this, I felt in order to get into the gist of things and get comfortable with this channel, I thought I'd make a video on a subject that's very close to my heart, and that's penises. Now, I'm a female-to-male transsexual, and us FtMs, some of us do something called packing. Packing, it basically means packing your pants. So, it means stuffing your underwear, usually, with something to create a nice natural bulge. Sometimes it's purely for aesthetic reasons, sometimes it makes you feel more comfortable and more secure with yourself, sometimes it's just kind of fun. But obviously, you know, female-to-male transsexuals, generally, to my knowledge, are not born with penises, because we are biologically female. So, we kind of need to replace what we have. If you go on hormones, you do get some natural growth down below, but it's often not, it's not the same. You don't grow a penis, you know? So, pre or post hormones, or if you don't want to go on hormones, either way, you often like to pack. So, no matter the reason, packing is creating a penis of sorts. There are various ways to do this, many ways to achieve it, that range from very cheap to very expensive. So, handmade packers, and the like, or very expensive prosthetic pieces, which you can get from a variety of places. I'll have a couple of links down below. At some point I'll try and edit the video to add more links, because I've forgotten loads. And if you have any helpful links, please comment below and I will add them to the video information description. And also, remember, if you have a video about packers, or something very, very similar to do with this subject, or you'd like to make one, please do, and if you'd like it to be a video response, just send it as a video response. You click on the comment box, and it'll then give you an option to post a video response instead. Please do so it can become a video response. It gets your video more views, and allows people to get different views and experiences from someone other than me on the subject, which I think is great. Plus, there are bound to be plenty of videos out there that are much better than mine. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to show you a variety of packers, only a small variety, and talk about some of the options. Now, we're going to go cheapest to most expensive. The cheapest that I'm aware of, though I guess it's debatable with the second option really, depending on how you do it, I think is socks. Yeah, a lot of FTMs will start out with socks. I guess in a way it's similar to girls stuffing their bras, in a way. You know, cheap, easy, comfortable. But it can still go very easily wrong. I used to stuff with socks at college, and doesn't always go to plan, as I'll mention in a moment. But yeah, I would suggest, you know, just 2 socks, rolled up into a ball, shove them down. You've just got to kind of adjust until it looks right. Just look in a mirror, you know, have a little fiddle around, and see if it looks normal and feels comfortable. You want them to be in briefs, preferably not boxers, because otherwise they're likely to move around, and the last thing you want is to be walking around and have your cock fall out of your trousers, especially if your cock is a pair of socks, because that does look a little bit weird, especially if you're in a shop. They might think you've been weirdly shoplifting. So yeah, you want something tight. Another option, which you can use for any packers really, especially if you haven't got a harness, but you'd like to keep things in place, is a jock strap. I personally haven't tried a jock strap yet, but it's the next thing I'd like to try, because I'm way too lazy to get a harness, so yeah. So you just tuck them on in and kind of hope for the best. Remember, only 2 socks, maybe even 1. If you're gonna add more, it might boost your ego, but it could also make people very uncomfortable, because it'll look like you have a massive penis, but that massive penis is gonna look like it's happy to see everyone. Okay, right, so that's the sock, just adjust myself. So, yeah, I mean, that's 2 socks, kind of, it makes kind of quite a large bulge, but it's big, but it's kind of even. It feels comfy, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I used to try packing with socks when I was at college, and my problem was they would always shift, make it look like I was raising the flag a little too high. So, The next option that I can think of is the handmade packer. If you go onto Google and just search like FtM how to make packers or how to make packies or soft pack, you can usually find guides to do this. The most common one I've heard about, time and time again over the years, is basically to get a condom and fill it with gel, or sometimes a different kind of solution. Some people say water. It's probably not the best idea on the off chance if it bursts. For my little demonstration, I'm going to use water, just because I don't have any gel handy. That's the only reason. So basically, you get a condom, you fill it with like hair gel. Obviously you don't go for anything expensive. Tie it at the end, nice and safe, and then get another condom, wrap it over and tie it. And then you can do it at triple time if you like. Some people give advice on how to make a scrotum as well that you can then attach to the bottom. And yeah, this is a good starter pack for guys, because yeah, it's cheap. So if you don't want to go for socks, or you've tried socks and you want to try something different, that does have a different effect, then yeah, it's a good way to go, I think. So, yeah, you saw it before, and I'm going to show you again. This is mine! It reminds me of one of those weird water snake things that kind of move up and down. They always creep me out, those water snake things. Maybe you can even use one of those as a pack. You know what I mean? The tubes, and they've got like a hole through the middle so you can move them. I hate them because, I say I hate them. They creep me out because they move up and down. Can't really do with this, but it looks like you're just fat, fat, fat. And that's kind of weird. I still think it looks a bit like, just because of the teat that condoms have, it looks a bit like some kind of weird, like, nipple missile. Yeah. It's already got some weird marks on it, but I think that's just because of the lubricant. Use non-lubricated condoms. I don't have non-lubricated condoms. I just used the cheapest ones I could find, because we have so many condoms lying around, as I'm sure you wanted to know. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't even look like it has two on it. It just looks like one, so that's pretty good. It looks really creepy from where the lube is, though. It looks really gross. But yeah, that's an interesting option. Here's how it looks. This is the homemade, like, water condom packer. I don't know, I mean, it's definitely the smallest, and it feels soft. It feels really weird. But, I can get back in focus. Yeah, I mean, because of the tightness of the box I'm wearing, you get all these creases, but obviously you won't get that with your trousers or anything. I don't know, yeah, it's definitely the smallest. I think, for beginning, if you were to actually use gel so it's less squishy and stuff, that'd probably, I don't know, I think that'd be good for people starting out, definitely, and it's very, very cheap. So, yeah, I mean, I find it quite weird, but it doesn't feel too invasive, and of course, I haven't got a harness or anything. I mean, with different shapes and using gel and using a jockstrap or something, I imagine it could actually work surprisingly well. Okay, last but not least is the Mango. Obviously, specifically, you don't have to get a Mango. Mango is a specific brand of prosthetic, because they make one which is a pack and pee, which means you can pack with it, but it also comes with a tube inserted inside, which allows you to urinate through it. Mango also make ones that are just soft packs. They don't have the tube. They're much cheaper. I think they're like under $20. The pack and pee ones are about $70. I have it written down. Yeah, $69.95. That was probably the price it was when I got it. I bought mine years ago. They also, me looking over at the laptop, they sell pack and pees for guys who've had metas, which is a type of FtM surgery. Metoidioplasty? Something like that. Yeah. And they also sell prosthetics. I'm not stopping this now! They sell prosthetics for guys who've had phalloplasties as well, as sexual aids. Yeah, they also sell, like, hard prosthetic penises. I would love to make a video on hard prosthetic penises, but I don't have enough experience on the matter, nor the funds, because oh my word, they can get expensive. But, I mean, I do have a strap on, but the most use it's ever had is me putting it on my head for a photo and pretending I'm a unicorn. Doesn't really count. Anyway, yeah, so there are a variety of places that sell prosthetics like Mango's, and Mango have kind of come into a bad light over the last sort of year or so, or couple of years, but they're very well known for not doing too well with customer responses and also being incredibly slow with shipping. A lot of guys I've heard basically have waited like a year for theirs and end up never getting them and not being able to get compensation. So you'd have to look into that. When I got mine, it was fine. I think it took a month or two, maybe even 3 months, but at the time that was well published. People knew to expect that kind of waiting time. From what I've heard, it's much longer now. So definitely look into that, just on the off chance, and look into other companies. There are a lot around now that sell things like this. Back in the day, this was the most popular, so it's what I got. But basically, this is it. When I get it. Ta-da! It's a little bit hairy because I never wear it. I should, really. I don't have a harness. I'm too lazy to make one, so at some point I'm going to get a jockstrap and try that out. But yeah, so here it is. This is the smallest one. I think it's like 3 inches. As you can see, it's soft. It's got a really nice kind of texture. You can squish it, but it keeps its shape really nicely. It's the back of it. You see you've got the hole that goes all the way through to the end, which a tube fits inside, which I don't use. I don't use it to pee because I'm terrible about it. Basically, if you're going to use a prosthetic to pee, you really have to relearn how to do it. Also, the tube it starts out yellow and goes even more of a funny colour. But that's the tube that goes through, so it goes through here and sits here, and you kind of fit that in to your area, and this sort of binds the balls up. Anyway, yeah, you have to relearn how to pee, essentially, to control your stream, because if you pee naturally, it's going to be too fast for the tube to handle, so it can go everywhere, and that's very unpleasant. So you have to learn to really control your stream. It's very difficult, but a lot of guys manage it great, and it's awesome for them. Like, they'll use prosthetics to go out and pee in public and stuff, and that's awesome. I'm terrible at it, though. But yeah, it's got this lovely vein going up the end of it. It's all nice and wrinkly. Yeah, it's really good. Looks lovely. And a lot of companies make ones that look very similar. So yeah, balls. So it's good. It is good. Also, you can do stuff like this. It's hilarious fun. Look at that. Look at it go! Yeah, I'll stop that now. Here is what the mango looks like. You see, it's more sort of centered to the bottom. Remember, this is without a harness or anything. So the testicle's kind of down there, then penis sort of bent over. So that looks more normal to me, but you know, it's making my boxers crease wide a bit. Remember, I'm wearing tight boxers to really show stuff off, as opposed to more loose boxers. I mean, you can do slightly creepy here. You can kind of, if you lift the penis so it's pointing up, it kind of creates not an erection so much. So depending on what kind of trousers you're wearing, if you're wearing tight trousers, that probably will create quite an obvious erection. But otherwise, it just kind of evens it out a bit, like the socks kind of did. But I prefer wearing it down. Right. So yeah, that's most of my experience with packing. It's one of those things where you really, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Never feel pressured to, because it makes you more of a man, because it doesn't. If you're a man, you're a man. It doesn't matter what's between your pants, biologically or otherwise. But if you do want to do it, it's fun to experiment. I wouldn't say rush into expensive things. Feel free, if you've got the money, feel free to. But do look into different companies, look up reviews and ratings to see how they are with their customers, and generally what their waiting times are like, and the quality control as well. And look into materials. Also, always make sure to care for expensive prosthetics well. I did at one point have something, I think it was called a limpy, which is another soft prosthetic penis, which is quite a bit bigger. I had a medium size, the small I think would have been better. It was too big for me, it would always look kind of awkward, and that was just a packy. And I will put the link below, because that's good for people in the UK, from a website called LoveHoney, who are wonderful, by the way. I've been a patron of theirs for a long time, they're brilliant. They're very nice. And so yeah, if you want to get a very cheap one, I think the smaller one is about £12, and they usually have free shipping. That's a good place for guys in the UK. For other people around the world, I think it's primarily US based. I'm going to put a link in the bottom called the Packer Showdown, which is from a website called transguys.com, which is a very awesome article they've put together with reviews of different packies and things. Definitely have a look at that. But yeah, it's really up to you. For some guys, it's a really important thing. It can really add some base masculinity to yourself and make you feel more comfortable, whereas for other guys, it doesn't really matter. It's totally up to you. If you do pack, don't think you're overcompensating, because you're not. If you want to, you want to, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. So yeah, please leave comments below and tell me how I can improve and what you'd like to see from me. Thank you very much.